Hello, hey, welcome to Tyler with a K. We have a bit of a change of a background today. I think I made a few videos early on in my YouTube career with this background. But anyway, today we will be talking about Season 2 of The Summer I Turned Pretty. The last episode just came out on Thursday, and I wanted to release this and film it and edit it as soon as possible, so that's what I'm doing. It's actually the exact day that I want to release it on, so I procrastinated once again. I actually made a TikTok about it. If you follow me on TikTok, then you'll be able to see it. I don't even know the exact handle, but I'll put it on the screen. But yeah, this time around, I wrote notes for every single episode, and I think that is a better way to talk about the season, more specifically, and then at the end I'll do it more as a whole. But yeah, let's just get right into it. Please keep in mind that this is only my thoughts on the second season of the show. I have not yet read the second book, okay? So if you're looking for like a book review, this is not the place. I'll probably make a video after I read the book, potentially. I don't know if probably is the right word, but yeah, anyway, yeah. I've stalled long enough, I think. I'm gonna put this on my laptop so I don't have to hold it this whole time. So episode 1, it really surprised me because it started off with a previously on The Summer I Turned Pretty, and I was really hoping that would only be like a one-time thing. It would be just like that because it's the beginning of a new season, and then it continued through every single episode. So that was kind of a bummer. I feel like I don't really need it. I remember what happened because I had so much motivation to film and release this video today. I kind of binged it. I started the first episode of season 2 last Monday, and then each day I watched about 2 episodes, give or take, until I was done with the whole series. So yeah, I did not need a reminder because I had just finished a previous episode basically like in less than a day at the most. But yeah, okay, and then I really appreciated one of the very first scenes was of Conrad and Belly on the beach after they kissed. It kind of went right into, basically, I think it was the next scene right after the end of season 1, after they kissed on the beach, as I just said. And it was literally a one take for a long time. It was pretty good. It was cool. I thought this would mean a different directing style for the second season. It did not really mean that, but yeah, I just still appreciated one take whenever possible. They were just walking, but it was cool. Another thing that is new this season were flashbacks. It's, I guess, current day was when Belly was in school getting ready for summer, and then it kept flashing back to like the summer beforehand. And that was interesting. I didn't like it at first, and then it kind of grew on me. Something which is pretty cool in the current day and age or whatever. She's actually reading The Hunger Games, which I did make a video about. And even a more fun fact, my family and I went out of the country recently, and I actually read The Summer I Turned Pretty while I was out of the country. And another book that I read was The Mockingjay, and it just so happens that the book that Belly is reading is The Hunger Games, which is pretty cool. She's actually reading in French, which I could not dream of doing. I don't speak French, but I do actually have a Spanish version of a book that I want to read called 100 Days of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Let me know if I should read that. Maybe I'll make a video about it. I'm taking AP Spanish, so like I feel like I speak Spanish relatively well, but like it's still not, I don't know if I'm ready to read a book. Maybe there'll be like an end of year feeds or something I'll try to do like throughout the year. But okay. Next note, I feel like this is gonna be pretty long if I don't like hurry up. So at the party that Steven, Belly, and Taylor went to, I think it was the end of the year party, I felt like the guitar and the song that Milo sang was way too loud. I could barely hear the voice, but like I did like the chords, I guess. I don't know, but it is also forgettable because I can't remember it right now. Honestly, I thought that Milo was going to cheat on Taylor, and that was how she would get together with Steven, but that is not what happened. I'll talk about that later, but yeah. I don't understand this out of context. I'm guessing Milk is cheating? I don't get it. Okay, next. I said not Steven being pick me to Taylor. Like, he's literally, he mentioned early in the season how early in the episode when he's actually doing his graduation speech, he's a valedictorian, because of course he is, because every main character has to be a main character in their lives as well, in everyone else's lives as well. He says that he was broken up with by Shayla. I actually wanted her to be in this season because she was probably my favorite character of last season, but she was not. But anyway, right after that, he starts getting a crush on Taylor, and that timing is not impeccable. It's obvious that he just wants somebody to love him. And that's why he goes back to Taylor, and that's why I can't really ship them. When Taylor's watching Milo sing his song, Steven, for some reason, takes off his shirt and he said, "I'm gonna crowd dive." It's eye roll for sure. Okay, and then there's a quote that I saved, which I think this is the first quote of the show that I saved. I think this was on one of Belly and Conrad's phone conversations. Belly says, "I can't see me marrying anyone that doesn't give me fireworks." And I guess that's something that she touched on in the first season as well as the first book, where she didn't feel like Cameron gave her fireworks. I actually also made a short on YouTube recently, taking the quiz that said, like, which the Summer Turned Pretty character am I? And I was Cameron, and I already kind of knew that I was, but yeah, the confirmation was great. It wasn't. I feel like Cameron's fine, right? Cameron's fine, but like, he's kind of boring too. What does that say about me? Okay, I just really appreciate Lola Tung's acting. I feel like she's really good in every scene, and she always seemed just like a real person. And when she goes in to kiss somebody that she's sitting with on the swings from her school, he like kind of rejects her, and then she starts laughing. It just all seems very like easy, kind of like she's an actual person and not acting, which I guess is kind of like it for every character in the show. But like, yeah, just. Obviously, she's the main character, so she sticks out. And then, after the party, what's her name? Main character, I just said she was important. Belly is driving home. Of course, driver's license comes on. I do appreciate that kind of transition when she's going in the car, then it starts playing. I did see a TikTok about it beforehand, so it wasn't completely a surprise to me. But yeah, I can just imagine what Guts is going to do to the soundtrack. I remember kind of rolling my eyes in season 1 when after, I think it's Conrad or the dude from the gas station accidentally punches Belly, and then Brutal comes on and Olivia Rodrigo, and then of course the cops show up. I was like, oh, come on. It's like way too perfect. Yeah. Okay. And then basically same thing as I said as Steven. Conrad is like not being nice. He starts dating Belly as soon as he's broken up with. I feel like everyone just wants to be with somebody and they don't care if they like them. They just like to manipulate them and persuade them that they like them in order for them to feel less lonely. Sorry. Okay. It made me laugh when Steven and Taylor were in the car driving back with Milo, and Milo said that I got a gig with Cancel Culture Records, just a pretty funny record company name. Then another quote. Okay, so I think this is by Susanna, as in Susanna said it to Steven originally. The world isn't happening to you, you are happening to the world. Isn't only happening to you, you are happening to the world. And I feel like that's a good mindset. Alright, so now we're on to episode 2. I promise I'll be fast. I didn't mention this before, but this season actually has 8 episodes. The first season had 7. Anyway, episode 2. Let's stick to the script. Even though there isn't a script, let's stick to like the succession of things. Episode 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. They kind of tricked me. So season 2, episode 1 ends with Billy getting a text from Jeremiah saying that Conrad has run away from his school, and then Belly's like, "I'll come with you to find him." And then the second episode starts with Belly seeing a text from somebody and going into a car, going outside and getting into a car. And I thought it was Jeremiah, because that would make sense from where the last episode finished. But it was actually Conrad, like a couple of months prior, and it was like during Christmas time, and they were going to Cousins Beach by themselves. So I really liked that. It took me by surprise. I thought it was funny also, Laurel makes a book. Writes a book who is Belly's mom, and it's called It's Not Summer Without You, and it's about Susanna. What you may not know is, you probably do, is It's Not Summer Without You is also a title of a book in the Summer Turned Pretty series. I always forget if it's the second or third one. It is the second one, so it's like, yeah, the second season. And the second season, Laurel, Belly's mom, writes a book that has the same title as the second book in the Summer Turned Pretty series. I definitely overcomplicated that, but I hope you understand. There was a lyric of a song which kind of caught me off guard. Call me Dahmer, 'cause your heart's so tasty. Okay, I'm definitely reaching here, but Dahmer is actually a TV show that came out I don't even know when, but it has been nominated for multiple Emmys. And I'm telling you that because another show has been nominated for multiple Emmys, which Daisy Jones and the Six, which my sister and I are reading currently. So next week, or the week next after that, or the week after that. Honestly, I feel like I should just release it on the day of the Emmys. Basically, we will be making a video talking about Daisy Jones and the Six, the book and the TV show, and that'll be out on September 18th, which is actually also my birthday. The Emmys are my birthday, which is really cool. But yeah, that's just a little video you can look forward to. Something happened in I think the second to last episode of season 1, where basically Nicole, who was Conrad's ex-girlfriend, sees a text from Conrad on Belly's phone, and she retaliates by taking Taylor and Belly's clothes away from them and driving away while they're skinny dipping in the pond, which is so rude. And she never apologizes for that. And now in the second episode, Nicole and Belly just meet up, and she still doesn't say sorry. And like, what? That makes no sense. That's such a horrible thing to do, and she never apologized. I don't understand why she never did that. During the flashback, Belly and Conrad are at the Cousins Beach, the house, and Conrad's having some trouble getting the fire done, getting the fire set. I don't even know the lingo. And Belly's like, weren't you an Eagle Scout? And it was really funny. Apparently he was. At least he tells her to like be quiet, which I think is sometimes what people say when the person is right, but they don't want to admit that they're right. The other person. But yeah, it was just kind of funny. I feel like he does really give the vibe of an Eagle Scout. And then Belly literally roasts Conrad. Just says that he doesn't feel the fire, and then Belly says, that's because you're cold-hearted. Like, that's so not nice. And then he says, only cold-hearted for everyone besides you. Yeah. And then they do the cliche thing, which I won't be spelling out for you. Episode 3. I like the scene of Lola when, it's during the flashback when Lola and Conrad break up, and she's crying, and she's acting well. That's good. During the funeral, Conrad sings with his guitar, and I didn't really necessarily like his singing voice, which is kind of interesting, considering the actor is going to be playing Aaron Samuels in the new Mean Girls the Musical movie. He did say that, I saw in a TikTok that he said that he doesn't think that Conrad would be a good singer, so a part of me is hoping that that's not his actual voice, but he also said in another interview that he does not sing, so like, why was he chosen? Aaron only sings in one song, I'm pretty sure, in the entire musical, so I hope maybe they just X that part out, I don't know. Or, I mean, since it's so short, they're fine with it, but yeah, it's funny. He says that he can't sing, but he's also in a movie musical. Excuse me. Alright. Episode 4. So we find out at the end of episode 3, or 2? 2, I think, it's actually 2, that their aunts Julia, Conrad, and Jeremiah's aunt Julia will be selling their beach house, and that's like the main conflict of the season. Not really like the romance are kind of like in the back burner, and this is kind of the central plot line. I'm not sure if that's how it is in the book. The person that plays Aunt Julia, I found out, produced a movie that I'm excited to watch, which is called Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. I'm pretty sure I made a video. Sorry if I didn't. I'm just pointing in the air, which is kind of weird. But yeah, that movie is coming out later this year. I am not sure the exact dates. I also made a reaction to the trailer. I haven't released it because I just haven't really not found the time, but like, I just don't think it'd be as popular. Maybe I'll release it when the movie's actually out, but yeah. So that was kind of a cool little coincidence. She's in two different book to other medium adaptations, I guess. And I've heard of the name Kira Sedgwick, but I did not know that's how she looks like. Like, I feel like that's just a name that I've heard of, but I didn't know what she looked like. I just said that. Then this is really my first gripe with like the writing of the show. I didn't mention Aunt Julia also has a child that is named Sky. And I just didn't like the writing when basically Belly wants to invite Sky to the boardwalk with Jeremiah and Conrad and Taylor, because Taylor is there for some reason and Steven is there for some reason. And after she invites them, Sky, she tells Jeremiah, sorry for inviting them, and then Jeremiah's like, it's fine. And I just feel like it was just a really bad plot device, not plot device, but just like a little thing in order for them to start a conversation together, and I just didn't feel like it was necessary. Like, it was just like, it seems rehearsed. I mean, it is a TV show, so it was rehearsed, but it just didn't seem like genuine or what would actually happen. Realistic, I guess, is the word I'm looking for. Speaking of Sky, I did not really like their character. They were kind of annoying. Like, they literally say, I'm a natural introvert. Just maybe it's the line delivery of the actors, but like, I just don't like them. They're just kind of annoying, and they're always like, I'm so quirky, kind of. They grew on me, but yeah, it's fine. You're not supposed to like every character. I don't need to apologize. I wasn't going to, but okay. Episode 4 still. I don't know why I said the episode. And then they just randomly run into Cam Cameron while they are doing rock climbing, and then Cam just decides to follow them around the entire day through the different attractions on the boardwalk, which I feel like is unrealistic. If you're working at an amusement park or just a boardwalk, I'm pretty sure you can't just leave your station whenever you want, and that's exactly what he did. I'm pretty sure this is something that happened in the first book, but it was shown in the second season of the show. Basically, Belly remembers that Conrad and her went on the boardwalk before, just the two of them, and Belly thought that it was like, not a date, but like she was just excited to spend time with Conrad, and then she finds out that he was just there to talk to somebody that works on the boardwalk. Yeah, just little facts, little bit of knowledge. It's kind of funny how like the only thing that the makeup designer would ever do to make them look younger is make them put on glasses or put on braces or both. Belly has glasses and braces, Conrad has glasses, and Jeremiah has braces. I don't have braces, but I have glasses, and I'm literally 16, so what are they trying to do? I don't even know what age they're supposed to be, but yeah, besides that, they literally look the same. I guess it kind of works, because, like, they do look younger, but it just, I don't know, couldn't they have gone different actors? There's no way you look the exact same when you're younger. I definitely don't. If I choose to humiliate myself on the internet today, I'll put up a picture of me as a young person. No way you could have guessed that would be me today, right? Like, I don't look the exact same, and the makeup designers would like us to think that you do. Speaking of, I just realized they never do anything to Steven. He doesn't have braces, I'm pretty sure, and he never has glasses in the past either, so what happened there? The big thing that's happening, that's been mentioned multiple times throughout the episode, is an attraction on the boardwalk called the Tower of Terror. I thought it'd be actually scary, but it wasn't. We have something at an amusement park near where I live as well, which is the same thing. It basically goes, it's a chair, or like a set of chairs, and it just goes up and down, like into the sky and then down, like, and I guess it's kind of, you don't know when it's going to drop, right? But they literally only went down once, and that was the end of the ride, and I feel like that was so anticlimactic. I was looking for it to be scary, and it just was not that. It just was not that. This was actually kind of fun episode. It took place in the boardwalk, and I felt like this was like the first time that they actually had fun. Specifically the actors, I feel like these scenes would have been kind of cool to film, or more entertaining to film. They did laser tag, and they also did some road race car driving. They kind of did a transition that kind of worked, but where two people were going into a bridge, and then transition into two other people going out of the same bridge. But yeah, it seemed like a pretty fun episode to film, and I thought that would mean there would be a different director, but it wasn't. It was the same director from episode 3. But yeah, it was cool. And then at the end of the episode, we find out that the house has been cleared. Like, all the furniture is gone, which I feel like is definitely not realistic. They have to get permission from the owners of the house. I guess they aren't the owners, but like, they've been living there, and then like in the course of the day, everything is taken away from that. I feel like, away from the house. I feel like that's really unrealistic. I mean, I've never been involved in that process, and I mean, I've moved, but like, I don't remember moving. In no way that, yeah, it's a one-day process. I don't think so. Okay, episode 8. I think I have the most notes for this one. So, angry at Aunt Julia, everyone, the gang, decides to break into the, I guess it's not really a country club, but like some kind of place that they went last season where a lot of the season was spent, because Cameron's mom is like, I think, the director of the whole entire thing, so they basically just do Night at the Museum, except it's Night at the Country Club. And it surprised me at the very beginning from the previously, it sounded like a different voice, and it was Jeremiah this whole entire episode, Jeremiah voiceover, which was kind of interesting. Definitely a change. I definitely am familiar with Belly's voice, and then suddenly I hear the bass, and I'm like, who was that? I realized that I feel like Jeremiah and Conrad don't really have that many scenes by the two of them alone, which is kind of interesting because they're really brothers, and I feel like they may not even have chemistry. Can I believe them as brothers? They don't look alike at all. I didn't have my phone at the time of me watching episode 5, so I wrote down these notes, but I can't read my handwriting. I said this is so dramatic, but does anyone really care? But I don't really know what that means. I don't know the context of it, as, again, I really like the addition of Taylor in the season. She's played a more minor role in season 1, like I think she was only in like 4 episodes, but this one she was in every single episode, and she was pretty cool. It was nice. I feel like she's a pretty good actor, and she doesn't give best friend vibes, like she has a plot of her own, which I appreciate. And then randomly we find out that Cam's sister has passed away on the green, I guess is what it's called, like wherever people golf in a country club, and he says eventually a scar feels more like eventually feels more like a scar more than a scab, and I just wrote that down as a note, but yeah, that just seemed kind of random, but I mean, fine, I guess. I'm pretty sure this was the first episode where I guessed that Sky and Cam would get together, and they ended up doing it, as in kissing. That happens, I think, in episode 6, so I'm getting ahead of myself, but yeah, apparently everybody has to have a romantic partner, so yeah. And then, basically, Jeremiah says in the flashback how he felt when he first saw Belly again, last summer, for the first time, and he was like, that was the first time that I thought of her differently, and I feel like it's just the trope where people take off their glasses and suddenly they're attracted to it. Suddenly they're on everybody's radar, and I'm really sick of it. So, like, he's just a surface level as Conrad. Maybe Belly should just be single, because I don't really think either of them, like, what do they even like about her? What do they even like about her? Okay, episode 6. This is the party episode because they decide since the beach house is being sold, it is confirmed, that means that they should throw a party for like a last hurrah. There was a cameo that I was expecting on this episode, but like in the season in general, by the author of the book, Jenny Han, and she was actually in the grocery store when they were trying to get alcohol. I feel like it would have been cooler. Basically, yeah, they're trying to get alcohol, but they are underage. I feel like it would have been cooler if Jenny herself got it for them, and after seeing them like having some trouble, just said once they left the store, bought it for them. But it just ended up being Belly talking to the cashier register, who was from the last season, and then her just convincing him somehow to give them the booze. I said not Conrad being jealous and being creepy. This is such a general note. He's that a lot of the time, so I'm not sure exactly what point I'm talking about. The way I wrote these notes were not like, they weren't chronologically, so I don't really know. I guess I can just show you. It's like all over the place, right? So I didn't write them one after another. So I don't know if this is going to be chronological. Jeremiah said a creepy line as well. I think this was in the party. Belly trips because she's on skates, and then Jeremiah says, like, really close to her, you don't need to hurt yourself to get my attention. I know that was kind of a nod to the first episode of season 1 when Belly like trips in front of Conrad at the beach, but like it was creepy. It was creepy. And then Steven says to Taylor, I don't know when I started liking Taylor. I don't know when I started liking you. First you were just my brother, my sister's annoying best friend, and now I like you. And it's obvious he started liking her after Shayla, after he broke up with Shayla. So, like, what? And then another thing that was mentioned in the first book, or wasn't mentioned in the first season, is when Jeremiah had his first kiss. And it was just a random scene. Like, it has nothing to do really with the plots of the book, but yeah, that's mentioned. I feel like Conrad's go-to phrase is "grow up." He says that whenever he gets a chance to, really. Whenever somebody says something that he doesn't agree with, he says it lots to Belly in the first season, and he says it less times, I think, in this season, maybe twice or only once. But yeah, I also think, going back to Steven and Taylor, I feel like Milo is better. Steven has never been really nice to Taylor. Like, he hasn't been mean either, but he's just been like indifferent to her, and then suddenly he has a crush on her, specifically in the scene where Taylor's on the phone with Milo, and then he interrupts her and like is trying to get her to hang up the phone, which is just like not nice and inconsiderate. So like, I don't know that much about Milo, but at least he doesn't like her when she is with another person, and at least he didn't get together with her after being rejected by another person. And all those things Stephen did. So, and then I said, of course, Cam and Sky, of course they got together. Then here's another quote. Connor said, "I thought Coco was your specialty." I can't even remember when this happens, but I think this is after Belly says something else is her specialty, I'm guessing. But yeah. It's really funny how Conrad, at the beginning of seeing Belly for the first time after the event of the summer, can't even look at her, and then I feel like it's not really gradual how they're like suddenly having full-fledged conversations of being friends again. Specifically, like when they're getting equipment for the party, they have like a big heart-to-heart scene, like in one of the aisles, and I'm like, you didn't talk to each other like 3 episodes ago. What happened? I guess it's not 3 episodes ago. 5 episodes ago, what happened? Or 4 episodes ago, what happened? But yeah, okay. But Belly gets drunk, and there's just a cool thing. Or she finds out that Conrad went to Jeremiah for his permission to date Belly. She said that my chest actually hurts when I'm not with her. I think this was actually in episode 5. We saw the flashback in episode 5. But anyway, Belly finds that out, and then Conrad says, we did love each other, and then Belly says, I guess not enough, which I really like that quote. And then episode 7. Okay, so at the end of episode 6, Belly drunkenly calls her mom to come help her at the beach house, and then the episode starts with her mom getting there. And I already knew from the beginning of the scene that Laura was going to slap Belly. I feel like she's not the person to do that, but of course she had to for the sake of the drama, and I already knew this would happen. I'm not sure if it happened in the book, but yeah, I knew it from the very beginning of the scene. And then the inevitable happened. First of all, Laurel convinces Julia not to sell the house, but in order for her to do that, she has to convince Adam, who is Conrad and Jeremiah's father, to buy the house. And he's kind of been like the antagonist that we've never seen this whole entire season. And then Adam decides to buy the house from Julia, and yay, happy day. And then, for some reason, Conrad taps Jeremiah on the back and kind of pushes him away, and then Jeremiah goes out the door. And then I feel like that could have been a scene with Conrad and his dad. There were 2 people, they're the only 2 people in the scene, and then it just cuts to a scene of Conrad and Jeremiah on the beach, and I feel like that must have been a deleted scene, because it just seemed kind of weird. I guess this is kind of explained later in the episode, but initially when Conrad said that he got into Sanford to Jeremiah didn't really react. I think it's in a later scene where Jeremiah says that you should go. I want you to go there. Forget about me. So yeah, Conrad decides he's been slacking off this semester. He's been missing some classes. He has a kind of funny line delivery, I think at the beginning of episode 3, where he's like, forget school, I don't care. And so yeah, he's been skipping school in order to try to save the beach house. when in actuality it only took one conversation from Laurel in order to save the whole entire thing. But anyway, he has to study for his final exam, and they pull in all-nighters, Stephen, Belly, Conrad, Jeremiah, I think that's it, in order to help him study. And I knew he was gonna pass it anyway, even before I found out that he did in the next episode. I appreciate how they acknowledge the privilege, or like the different, not social classes, but maybe social class, I don't know. It's literally just mentioned at the beginning of episode 1, where Belly says, we never talk about how Susanna has so much more money than us, and it's kind of a throwaway. They never really talk about it, but like, it just like, oh sure we can buy this, oh sure we can buy this. And the thing is that first, he never told his dad that he wanted to transfer to Stanford, and second, their dad just bought the beach house, and Adam says that in order for him to buy the beach house, they have to let go of the Boston home that they have in Boston, because they have 2 houses, of course. So like, there's no way that they can pay for Stanford as well. Of course, you got into Brown as well, so I don't know how much Brown costs compared to Stanford. Maybe they can just transfer the amounts, but still, like, he never told his dad that he was moving. So like, I feel like you need to. Taylor leaves the beach house with Stephen's car, which is really important to this episode, but I just wanted to explain why I haven't been talking about Taylor. Cameron also kind of just disappears. I don't even know where he went. And then we have Stephen going back to Belly and Belly's mom's house with Belly's mom, and Belly's mom allows Belly to go with Jeremiah and Conrad, I guess for moral support, as Conrad takes his exam. So they're in the Brown parking lot or something, when Belly tells Jeremiah, I wouldn't change my mind about being with him again, because all this time Belly's kind of still had a crush on Jeremiah, but Jeremiah's kind of been keeping his distance, afraid to get hurt again, I guess. And there's a helicopter. Maybe it's a plane. Maybe it's Superman. I don't know. Let me just wait for that to die down. I hope this video isn't too long. I feel like I've been filming for an hour. And she says, I wouldn't change my mind again. I choose you. I doubt it. Tropes in general say that the person chooses the first person, not the second person. And Jeremiah's the second person, so I feel like she's going to eventually get with Conrad. Honestly, I feel like at the end of this episode, where Jeremiah and Belly kiss, would be a good ending of the whole entire season. But it's not. There's one more episode, and I'm going to talk about that now. But yeah, like, I felt like this episode could have been a great Season 3 Episode 1 episode, and not a Season 2 Episode 8 episode. And also, fun fact, Season 3 has been... It's renewed for Season 3, the summer term period, so that's pretty cool. I don't know that much about the writer's strike, but I know that people deserve to get paid, so please keep in mind that I support it. I just wanted to say that before we go on. Episode 8, I have a lot of notes for this episode. I actually thought episode 5 was the episode that I had lots of notes on, because I was looking at my phone, but I wrote down my notes for episode 6, 5, and 7 on the paper, and then I went back to my phone for episode 8. So yeah, okay. So it starts with Conrad running away after seeing Jeremiah and Belly kiss, and then Jeremiah asks Belly to go after Conrad, even though Jeremiah's literally his brother. He's like, "Can you go after him? Please do it. Like, do it yourself." What do you think she could possibly say to him that his brother couldn't say? Like, I don't get it. We switch between Stephen and Taylor and Belly, Jeremiah, and Conrad, and we find out that the person that Taylor had been dating, Milo, wrote an entire diss album about Stephen since the party, which is kind of like extreme. Definitely, that's not realistic at all. Like an entire album, maybe a song, but an entire album. But yeah, yeah. Okay, great. That's whatever. We actually listened to a portion of it. But he actually calls out Stephen's name, which I feel like never really happened in music. They never say a name, but Milo did say a name, which really just shows that he's not an actual musician. Sorry, he's a fake character. I can't hurt his feelings. Well, and then speaking of Taylor and Steven, they go on a date, not dates, where basically Taylor invites a lot of her other friends. Steven shows up with a flag, which is kind of nice. And then after everyone else leaves, they go and get into a different argument. I don't even know why. And Taylor says, I didn't picture this as our first date. And then Steven is like, I thought this wasn't a date, because earlier in the episode she said that it wasn't a date. Or she said, is this a date? I don't know, like she's not being clear. And then she just walks away, and then they stop talking for a couple days. Like, it's... What? I don't like the writing. I didn't like the writing there. Last season, I didn't mind the writing. Like, it didn't really make an impact on me. Like, it wasn't good writing, but it wasn't bad. But this season, I notice more bad things about the writing, if that makes sense. So yeah, it gets rained out, so Jeremiah, Belly, and Conrad are forced to stay at a cabin for the night until the rain stops, because it's dangerous. And Conrad and Jeremiah go off. I don't even know where they are, like maybe in the lobby, or like, it seems like outside, so maybe it's one of those hotels that, maybe it's a motel and it just like has that, the doors and outside are just right next to each other, if that makes sense. They're just like, I give you permission to date Belly, or whatever. And I'm like, just ask Belly. I know she's been wishy-washy recently, but I just feel like, at the end of the day, they do acknowledge it, that it's Belly's decision. At least Jeremiah acknowledges it, but like, I don't understand why you're just talking, I don't know. Just seems like unrealistic. Let's talk about this girl that we both like and decide who gets to be with her. Like, what? 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 Another plotline I forgot that is happening is that Laurel has been invited by, I guess her ex Cleveland to like a writer's thing. I don't even know what it is. And Cleveland himself was not even there. But anyway, she reads a portion of It's Not Summer Without You, which is the book that she wrote for Stan, if you remember. And like, they wanted it to be impactful, the reading, but like what she was reading wasn't impactful, if that makes sense. Like, I was like, I didn't get the hype. I did not get the hype. I feel like it would have been more dramatic, and we know that the Summertime Pretty loves dramatics. So let me actually do the scene a bit more. There's only one bed in the cabin, and they decide Belly should take the bed, and then Conrad and Jeremiah sleep on the floor, and Conrad speaks to Belly. And he's like, Belly, I can't even remember what he says, but I feel like he should have said, I love you, because he had been talking with Steven about how he loved her in the last episode. And then for some reason Belly responds to him, and I feel like it'd been cooler if she didn't, so she'd be harboring what he thought about her, and Conrad could have just thought that she was asleep, so that's why he was like telling her the truth. But like, yeah, I feel like that would have been better than her actually responding. The song that Milo wrote, I said that it was kind of good. At least the beat was good, but he was kind of, I don't know if it's just the way that you talk when you're rapping, but it did seem kind of like a black accent to me. Search up what that means if you don't know, because I'm not going to be the one to tell you. Okay. So, and then the day after, Jeremiah, or Belly wakes up and she can't find Jeremiah. She is looking for him outside of the door, outside of their hotel, and she sees him get out of the car, and he got breakfast for her and only her. He says, I thought you'd be hungry. Like, did he actually only buy breakfast for her? I guess he didn't, because later in the episode, I'm pretty sure he says to Conrad, do you want any breakfast? But like, yeah. It seemed, the way that they wrote it seemed like he only got breakfast for her. That's a really minor thing, but not the point. Belly tells Jeremiah, I wanted to talk to you, and then Jeremiah says, okay, and then she starts saying her sentence, and then he literally interrupts her, like, let her speak. I don't understand why you gave her the floor, and then, like, took it away. I said, she asked for the floor, and you made lava, which is kind of, doesn't make sense. And then after Jeremiah and Belly kiss again, yay, they're together or whatever, and then Belly goes back to the hotel room to talk with Conrad, and it's only her there, even though Jeremiah literally came back from the grocery store, wherever he went, to get the breakfast. I feel like it was kind of, like, I know they wanted to have a scene with only Conrad and her, but I was like, he would have been back by now. He would have been back with Belly, and he's literally just waiting outside, basically, for this scene to take place. I feel like it would have been cooler if he was like in the bathroom or something, like, It would make more sense. And then Belly Lou says this dramatic line, "I release you, I evict you from my heart." And I'm like, no way, it's not. She's gonna like him again, I think so. And then, so the reason apparently why Taylor has been leaving Steven on red, or like not responding to his texts, is because she's scared because she has liked him for so long, and she thinks that he's gonna break her heart for some reason. And then Steven says, "You'll probably be breaking my heart." And then right after they kiss, I'm like, that is not a nice thing to say. You're probably gonna break my heart. Like, Taylor isn't saying it for real, I feel like, and Steven is like, as a joke, is saying, "You'll probably break my heart." And I'm like, what? Is that something you say? Okay. And then I just wrote a note. I like couples until they actually get together. I like movements. I don't like stagnance, like people actually staying together. But yeah, and then the final note that I had was just that it gives season 3, episode 1 vibes. Yeah, and those are all my thoughts. I don't know how long this video ended up being. I hope I can edit and release this before the end of today. It is 12:01 right now, so as long as it doesn't take me 12 hours, I will release it today. I guess less than 12 hours to edit, because I need to import it, and then I need to import it from the editing software that I use, and then import it onto YouTube. So I think that process will take like maybe an hour at most. So editing this, I think it'll take like 2 hours at tops. But I also need to rewatch, or I would like to rewatch it. So I don't know. Okay, instead of babbling, maybe I should just finish this video up. So yeah, it was good. Would I say that I liked this season better than season 1? I would not say so. I feel like season 1 was just more endurable over time to watch. Anything else? There's something actually that happened in season 1 which I don't think I mentioned in my season 1 video, which I want to talk about real quick. Basically, Steven is offered the opportunity to work at the poker table at the country club, and he finds out that the people, although they're generous tippers, are racist. After that experience, he talked to this manager or whatever, and the manager's like, "Just take their money, it'll be fine." And I'm like, and I think he continues to do, although we don't see any more scenes in that space. So like, I'm just like, that could have been a longer conversation. Like, what you're willing to do to fit into a place, like, when is enough, when people are treating you disrespectfully, maybe not directly you, but like they said, like, I don't know, my friend's child got like a really high SAT score, and that person happened to be Asian, and Steven is also Asian, and I feel like, yeah, they were talking not nicely, and probably like racistly. They were talking racist. That's definitely not, that's probably not proper grammar. But anyway, yeah, there's like a little, it comes back little in last season. In this season, Taylor and Steven, I think, Steven just mentioned that he worked at the poker table, and I'm like, yeah, I still don't really feel peace with that little plot point. But yeah, okay, I think that's pretty much it. I don't know when I'm going to read the second book. This is actually the first day of my last week of summer, so I want to finish my summer work, first of all, but also kind of spend this week to its fullest. And right now, I just can't see myself enjoying my week if I spent that week reading It's Not Summer Without You, unfortunately. So, I have other books to read. I've been reading other books. Would you like to know which ones? Okay, fine. 2, Daisy Jones and the Six, as well as Such a Fun Age, which is a book that I've been recommended. I'm just reading the audiobook, and it's pretty good so far. I've also been reading Babel, although I haven't like touched it in like a few weeks. But yeah, okay. I think that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this like longer format video. I did kind of the same thing for Daisy Jones and the Six, except I made a video for every single episode separately instead of a total season review. But all those episodes haven't even come out. Those reviews of those episodes. So sorry about that, but you'll be getting Daisy Jones and the Six content soon. Yeah, okay. I will see you later. Always remember, it's not summer without you. I don't know why I said that.